Okay. I'm sorry about that. It wasn't the mic wasn't registered. I do apologize for that. Okay. Thank you, Blob, for letting me know in the chat. That is oof. Okay, I hate it when that happens. Anyways, so to reiterate what I was mentioning before, okay, is that the just like last week, I'll say it again. The Soresan stream, everything is smooth now. Awesome. The Soresan streams always are trifled with issues and problems and stutters and a bunch of stuff. So I'm apologizing now at the beginning of the stream that it will more than likely happen today, okay? Because it happens in every stream ever since like a week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't know when it just all of a sudden started having issues, okay? So I apologize for that, but there's literally nothing I can do. Maybe in the future, and this is for a future source I'm to deal with, okay? I'll have an actual streaming computer, right? PC, laptop, whatever the fuck I decide to get, but something that's geared towards streaming. And I might get like a second router for this office room, which will help me out a lot. Because then I won't have to deal with like the internet that's all the way on the other side of the house. But that's like the first one. That's what I was saying first. Hey, Mayani, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful night. The second thing that I did want to bring up, and you'll notice in the characters section, there's a lot of ash there, okay? And the reason for it, I did make a poll on Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't remember exactly when it was, okay? But I did write a poll, and basically in that poll, what was mentioned is, do I rank Ash as a whole, like the whole Ash character, or if I need to do it by like each region's version of Ash? And I'm I probably should have pushed it a little bit more because I didn't really talk about it too much. So only the person voted, and the person said that they want all the Ash to be divided. So then I had to go out of my way to like get, because this rankings list doesn't actually exist on the tier list or tier maker website. I had to make it from scratch. So I had to literally get all these pictures of all the anipoke characters so that I could have them for the stream. So then I literally created this whole thing. It's a single use, which means it's only for today, right? It's only for me to do it. And there it is. So that's why you see like multiple Ash here. I'm cutting out. Hold on. Is it? Like I mentioned, like I'm gonna have issues. Okay, the streams are always rifled with problems on my end. But let me know if it you can let me know if it improves or anything like that. I'll really appreciate that. When it gets better. But yeah, so that's why I said like that's why there's multiple Ash here. So I don't know how I want to do this. I think what I could do is to start off, I could do like put one in each whatchamacallit, one in each tier for now, and then we can go from there. So I think for the trash tier, and honestly the only reason why I'm even putting her down here is because I don't fucking know anything about her. I didn't really watch Journeys all the way through, so I can't like truly like be like okay with her. So she's basically just there because I really don't know anything about her. Okay, and I'm not gonna put the main one that's gonna go down here right now because that's like the end of the stream and stuff like that. In the med tier, I'm gonna put Clement because realistically speaking, his gag got really tiring very early on in the series during X and Y. He didn't really contribute a lot. His gym battle felt a little off, personally speaking. I didn't think it was the greatest, but on top of I don't know, Clement. I don't dislike Clement as much as I used to. I will admit that, but realistically speaking, I don't think I'm ever gonna really like him as a character because I think okay, I'm gonna give you like some context first. Because I've reviewed X and Y, right? As a person who doesn't like X and Y, right? When the first like official battle that Ash has in Kalos is versus Clement, and it's like a newly caught Bunnelby, and then versus Ash and Pikachu, and nobody ever talks shit about that version. Okay, I have never seen anybody complain about Ash not being able to mollywop Clement and his newly caught Bunnelby at the beginning of X and Y, yet they always bring up the fucking Snivy and Trip in Black and White, which is fucking ridiculous. It's stupid and ridiculous. It's idiotic. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. So that's already like a point against Clement, but that's more like the fandom, so I can't really like blame him too much. But then after that, he just doesn't do much. Like most of like I said, most of his gag is the fact that he's an inventor and all of his inventions blow up. Okay, and I thought that at a certain point they were gonna stop that, where like, oh, now like I'm better at what I do and all my inventions actually work and they do whatever they need to. But they like dragged it out. It kept happening even at the end of the saga. So I understand we need to have some comedic like gags happening every once in a while. But for a character that has a successful in Clembot, the fucking robot that runs his fucking gym when he's not there, right? I would have expected for him to have more successes down the line, and he just didn't. Like, I think he might have had like one or two other inventions that worked properly, but for the most part, I just feel like Clement didn't do much in terms of the story, especially near the end. I just think he was just there. In the okay tier, let's see. In the okay tier, I'm gonna put Brock, probably. Actually, let's put one of the Ashes here. Let's put OG Ash in here. OG Ash will be the okay standard. I don't mind the original, but like realistically speaking, because the struggle with OG Ash is that you gotta count like Kanto, Indigo League stuff, the Orange Islands, and Johto. So like he has a little bit more behind him as a character. If we're talking about like Indigo League Saga Ash, that he was ass. Okay, we can be objective here and know that Ash was ass in the OG. Is the internet crapping out? Is that what's happening? It is having issues. Maybe if I please behave. Okay. Please work with me. Work with me here. Can't be doing it. That's probably why it's having issues right now. Like I can see the internet bars from like the extender like flickering. Well, I can't actually physically see it because it's not in the room. It's in like the dining room. But I can see the bars going down on the actual like computer, laptop. So I better fucking behave. Actually, if I do, I don't want to do that actually. I might just go and unplug it real quick and plug it back in. It's also the weather. The weather hasn't been helping today, so that might also be causing some issues with the thing. But anyways, so like we can all be objective here and say that Indigo League Ash was terrible. Okay, he wasn't really like he's like a newbie trainer there, so it kind of makes sense in context of like, well, he's a rookie, he's never done this before, so he doesn't have experience, right? So a lot of the stuff that happened with Ash in Indigo and Kanto is like he just got handed shit. Like Orange Islands, I give it a pass. That arc, like, it's not like the greatest arc, but it wasn't that bad. And then like Johto was amazing. He really, like, he pulled through in Johto. So that's probably what helps him out a lot, is the fact that like the second half of OG Ash is really good, but like it's still held back by the Kanto Saga Ash. So that's why we put him in okay. In decent, let's see, who do we put in decent? For now, you know, I'll put Lana. I'll put Lana in decent. I honestly, I like all the Alola kids, but I feel like, actually no, if I were to do that, go back, Lana. If I was gonna do the Alola kids, then the one that's actually the least for me is still Sophocles. Not because I don't like Sophocles, because like I said, I like all the Alola kids. I just feel like he had the least attention paid to him, which I think is kind of messed up. Now disconnected. It's connected again. I don't know what the fuck is happening. Oh God. The comparison of streams failed because one of the streams has an invalid configuration. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what you want to do about that, YouTube, because I'm not touching anything. I'm not doing anything. Well, so I seriously think that if Sophocles had just a couple more episodes, he would be in the great tier. Personally speaking, he would be up there. But for now, he's indecent. In the great category, we are gonna put, I think we're gonna put Molly in there. We're gonna put Molly now. Molly, she's one of my favorites in Horizons right now. I just wish they'd give her some fucking like props or episodes dedicated to her, because like the only ones they've really had so far is like where they get the backstory that she's like the daughter of a Norse Joy, right? That's number one. And then we had what was it? The shopping episode, and then we had the Mousehold episode. That should have been straight up hers. Listen, I like Liko, don't get me wrong. We're not ranking Liko yet, but I definitely think that whole episode should have been centered around Molly. I'm a little upset that they went the route where now Liko's like the hero for that episode, when Molly's the one that did everything at the beginning, right? So I'm a little upset about that, and I hope they don't like screw over with her in the future. The only problem with Molly, and actually the rest of the Horizons crew, is the fact that right now we're in like the Liko, Dot, and Roy show, and I don't know how much they're gonna show us the adults, right? So realistically speaking, I don't like Molly from what we've seen so far, but she could go down just based on the fact that if the adults don't get any time in the spotlight for a long time, then obviously they're all gonna go down in rankings, right? So, but for now, I think she's amazing. I think she's great, okay? And I love Molly as a character, and I really hope they don't screw her over in the future. And then in terms of the best, okay, there's gonna be very few characters in here, but I can tell you one for a fact right now. It's gonna go in there. It's May. Okay, I love May as a character. She is amazing. Okay, I love the fact that, and a lot of people, listen, I know a lot of people say, why the fuck are you showing me I don't want the mouse in there. You fucking bitch. Can I fix that? Fucking capture the cursor. I don't want you capturing the cursor. You don't need to capture the cursor here. I just noticed it too. To me, the thing about May and why I like her so much, and she's pre-Horizon. Okay, I'm gonna go pre-Horizons. May is like my favorite Poke girl. Okay, because she truly feels like should have been handled at the beginning of the series, right? Because she is a newbie trainer. she's a brand new trainer, has no idea what she's gonna do with her life, right? She's confused at what her journey is gonna be like because her dad is a gym leader, right? Her dad's a gym leader, so you would think, oh, she's gonna be in gyms, she's gonna be like this Pokemon master and stuff like that. Okay, now it's causing issues again. Why are you doing this to me? YouTube / OBS. I don't know which one's the one that's causing issues right now. Do I need to redo the configurations again? Is that what you're telling me? Do I need to do that? Fucking bitch. I might just do that. Hold on, let me see. I might just hand. Let's do this for now. Don't do this to me, please. Come on. My OBS froze. Okay, we're good. We're okay. But you're still saying no data. I shouldn't be surprised, honestly, but it still hurts. Still hurts. Let's see. I might have to. Well, okay. Well, it's green now. So this is what I mean. We're just gonna have random stutters every once in a while. Because this is the way it is. this fucking thing is never easy. Okay. I understand that we're gonna have issues every once in a while. So again, we're talking about May. So May, right? The other thing is about her is so she has this issue at the beginning of the series. So we get this whole like, should I not? Like, what's my dream gonna be, right? So she has this issue. Excuse me. There we go. Excuse me. Okay, so she has this issue, right? And they kind of tried to do this again with Serena, but we'll get to Serena when we get to her. But the difference is with May is that she tries the gym challenge, right? She tries to be a gym leader, or not a gym challenge, a gym trainer. And I think, does she face off against Roxanne? I'm trying to recall. Oh God, not. Oh God. I'm gonna need a second. Give me 1 second. Okay, I have returned. I don't know what happened there. I do apologize. What was I saying? Right. I'm pretty sure she faced Roxanne. I'm like trying to think back because it's been a while. Okay, but I'm pretty sure she faced Roxanne, and then like she was like iffy with it, and then there was a contest nearby, and she decided to try it out, and then she fell in love with it, and that's why she became a contest coordinator instead of a gym trainer, which is perfectly fine. And honestly, I like the contest, personally speaking. Like, when I played the original Pokemon Ruby, I got, like, all the ribbons, right? I spent a lot of time in, like, contests and stuff like that. I think a lot more time doing that stuff than I was in the actual, like, rest of the game. But either way, like, I had fun, okay? I love the concept of contest. And she was really good. And she had, like, her whole, like, cast of rivals with it, right? And she had her wins, her losses. They showed her, like, training and practicing, preparing, a bunch of stuff, mixing and matching her her teams. And even getting a little cocky sometimes, which then bit her in the ass. And then, like, she even tried something which kind of, like, really messed with her a little bit, which is, like, when she caught Skitty, and Skitty learned assist, right? And she thought, oh, I can do something with this. And the problem then became is like, well, you're not really showing off Skitty's potential because you're using assist, which is calling attacks from your other mons. And since you don't know what it's going to be, you can't make like a routine with it, right? So then she just like turned around and tried to like fix herself, but I don't think she won that contest. Now that I'm remembering, because like I said, it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure she lost that contest. And then like when they went to Kanto, then she started doing the contest there, and she improved. Like she had, along with Ash, I think she has like the most starters. Actually no, that's a lie. I think Go passed everybody besides Ash in terms of like the starters, amount of starters he has, because she has the Blaziken, the War Turtle, and the Venusaur, right? Which is also the first time we've seen somebody have a same starter that Ash has, and they're like completely different because her Squirtle is like a tiny baby compared to like Ash's like big boy like I'm a tough guy Squirtle. And I'm pretty sure her Bulbasaur was also a little bit more, I don't know what to, it's not like, because like Ash's Bulbasaur is very stoic, but like her Bulbasaur was more like all over the place, like trying to be like friendly with everybody. So the differences in the Pokemon was always nice to see. And she grew as a character with like by herself, right? She had Ash as her mentor, which also helped like AG Ash a lot, right? But then she went from there, and then she grew as her own person, and she went out and traveled all over the fucking place, right? And the last time we know about her, I think she was doing contests in Johto, and she might have gone to Sinnoh. I don't fucking know because I like I said, I didn't watch Journey, so I don't know where the fuck she was in Journeys. But May will always be goated to me. So she's amazing. So that's one in every tier. Okay, we've done one in every tier. Now we can start like mix and matching. I can do like from like the beginning of the series. I can just start picking random ones here and there. I don't know. I'll give you guys like if you guys have an idea. If not, I think I might just go like in order, right? So if we go in order, right? So I'm gonna give you a minute, okay? Or I can make it a poll. Let me make it a poll. Did I make a poll? I'm gonna do a poll. Yeah, I'm gonna do a poll for you all. So, rank. And it's gonna be or random. There we go. So I'll start this poll, and I'll give you guys like a minute or so, right? Actually, it's 9:46 right now. So I'll give you guys till 9:50 to decide. And then we'll go from there. So you got 4 minutes to vote. And once the voting is done, then we can continue for the rest of them. So like there's a lot of there's probably gonna be very few. Like I said, there's gonna be very few that are in the best category. Like maybe potentially 3 or 4, maybe. It's like a big maybe. There's gonna be quite a few in great, and okay. There might be like a couple more, but I don't think there's gonna be too many there. The trash tier, well, realistically speaking, honestly, there might be only like 2-3 characters in there too. For now, the Met tier, I think Clement might be the only one in there. I might add one more, maybe. It's like maybe. But yeah. So while you guys vote, like I said, you got like 3 more minutes to go. I did want to make a quick announcement, which I always say it at the end of the stream, like I always do. But the video that I've been talking about for like the past couple streams, well, the past like 2 weeks, technically speaking, is done. Okay, I finished the editing, and it's like ready to go. I'm gonna publish it on Monday, so I hope that when it comes out, that you guys, I would appreciate it if you guys watched it, you know, liked it, shared it, whatever you want to do with it. But like really watch it, enjoy it, or I can't say enjoy it, but give it a chance, okay? I would really appreciate a lot of feedback on the video as well, because it's something that I've never done before. So I want a lot of input from a lot of people. So if you do decide to watch it, you know, comment on it just to tell me what you thought about it, everything like that. So so that's done, right? So that video is ready to go. The next big project that I'm working on, I technically already recorded it. I just need to edit it and stuff like that. So I will see how to handle that in the future. Honestly, I need to look at it again because I don't know if I like the footage that I recorded for it. So I might redo it. I'm not sure. Or what I've debated on is just making it like a stream topic instead of a video. But I haven't really thought about it yet. Okay, it's still like, cause like I recorded I recorded the stuff already, so I should just make the video. But in some instances, I'm like, but do I like how it came out? I'm not sure. So, like I said, I might make it into a stream or just re-record it. I don't know yet. But aside from that, tomorrow, well, it depends, because I don't know if the episode's out yet. I can check. I'm gonna check, but I don't think it's out yet. And if it is, let me see. Is it out already? No, it's not. It hasn't been released yet. But I will be watching out for it. So if it comes out tomorrow, then I'll obviously watch it tomorrow and review it tomorrow for you all. But that would probably be the next video for you guys. Okay, it's 9:50 and the votes are in. I'm gonna end the poll. End the poll with the in order. We already did OG Ash, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. So we're gonna go with Misty and Brock. Those are our next ones. So I'm gonna do Misty first, and she's gonna go in great, right? I like Misty. I do think this is definitely like my pokey shipping bias here, okay? Because even back in the day, I've always been like an Ash and Misty person, right? I think they had the best chemistry. In terms of like romantic partners, right? I have always seen it like that. Okay, I know a lot of people, other people saw it like that, but the way they had them fleshed out as characters throughout the series, throughout their like 3 regions, well, 2.5, because I don't know if you really want to consider the Orange Islands a region, but during the whole times that they spent together, I still believe they have the best chemistry. Okay. They were very like back and forth with each other. They had a really good dynamic, which really helped her out a lot. And like as a specialist, her team is fucking broke. It's very good. Okay, it's very good. I do gotta admit that a lot of her ones weren't like the most fleshed out in terms of like character growth. But because Misty's always wasn't meant to be like a main character in the same sense that a lot of the other poke girls end up being, I can somewhat forgive it. I just wish they had really helped her out a lot more. She did show up at the end of the To Be a Master arc, which was good because it helped them have that dynamic again, and that chemistry is still there and still very strong. Which is always nice to see that they, even after all these years, even though they haven't fucking aged at all, because the fucking Pokemon the Pokemon anime was like, we're not aging these guys, which is still like a dumb reasoning or a dumb thing they did, but that's besides the point. I do think that Misty was amazing, and I do think that she deserves to be in the spot. And like I said, there's definitely a little bit of poke shipping bias here, okay? Because I'm still to this day, Ash and Misty. That's the pair, okay? Even though I don't get into shipping wars anymore because I'm sick and tired of it, okay? I will still stand by that mindset. As for Brock, honestly, I do think he kind of dropped the ball a little bit. In the beginning, he was like, okay, because he was supposed to be like the mentor figure to Ash, right? So it worked, right? It worked in practice. Like, here is like somebody who is an established gym leader, like just like Misty, right? But the fact that he's also has to be like the man of the house because his fucking father like left, right? So it caused a lot of he needed to mature a lot faster. Granted, he's still like a skirt chaser because he's a fucking creep like that, which is probably one of the reasons why over time, like a lot of, how do you put it, like perception of him has gone down, just because of how he used to be as a character. I don't remember if he did much of that during the To Be a Master. I would have to go back and rewatch my reviews for that because I don't think they interacted with anybody that he would have to do something like that, because most of it was centered around Ash and Pokemon and stuff like that. There wasn't really a lot of like interacting with people. Like, I guess when they did like the Squirtle, Charizard, and Bulbasaur episode, I think there might have been something there, but I might have just like either skimmed past it or I didn't click. Something happened there. But I do think that he's still like an okay character. He still had his time, and he did have some growth as a gym leader, as a trainer, as a Fuck, I completely blanked out on. Actually, I don't know that I think about it. Did his fucking Doctor Dream die or something? Because he went from he was a gym leader, turned into a breeder, right? A Pokemon breeder and stuff like that. And then he went to be a Pokemon doctor because he got his fucking chances and shit. But I don't think they remembered that, because in the fucking Sun and Moon series, he was back to being a gym leader, right? And he had his fucking Mega Steelix and shit. And even in To Be a Master, like, I don't think they showed off his doctor skills anymore. So I think they forgot that was his goal. So that might have affected him a tiny bit. So that might be like probably like a notch against him down, because I think the creators forgot the purpose of Brock after a certain point. Yeah. Well, we'll leave it there for now, I think. Okay, so next up is AG. We already got May up there, which means, and Brock, obviously. So we're gonna go with AG Ash. He is like my favorite Ash. Okay. Well, him and Sun and Moon Ash, but we're not there yet. And then where's Max? I might as well get him in there. Max isn't bad. Okay, so first we'll talk about AG Ash. Like AG Ash, this is what he should have. This is the progression they should have done with it. Because the problem with what happened with Ash as a character is, by the time they went to Hoenn, they still kept his like growth as a character in AG, right? So what ended up happening is he was able to become a mentor for May because he's been through this shit, right? He's starting over, right? As in terms of like the region itself, because he only went with Pikachu to Hoenn. But think of it this way: he still had his background in everything that he did in Johto and Kanto and even the Orange Islands, right? So they still had him set up to be like, oh, like, I'm a, whatchamacallit, I got experience, right? And this probably should have been like where they aged these characters up, because technically speaking, Brendan and May aren't 10 years old in the games, okay? I think they're 12. So they should have just aged Ash up with the protagonist from the games, okay? The only problem at that point would have been like, when X and Y came out, I think Serena and Caleb are technically younger than Hilbert and Hilda, because I think Hilbert and Hilda are 15, if I remember correctly, either 14 or 15. I think Rosa and Nate do age down a little bit. I have to go back and check, but they were teenagers, and I think X and Y, they might have gone down to like 13, but I don't recall. But the point is, they could have aged up with the protagonist of the games, and they should have done it here. And it honestly felt like that's the route they were going for, because he was able to play the mentor role. Like Brock at this point is just there, right? Brock was just like the adult of the group because he's technically the oldest, right? But when it came to Ash and May's relationship, he became the mentor instead of Brock. Brock wasn't mentoring May at all. And it helped her like grow as a character, right? So he helped her learn what she wanted to do. And he even gave her pointers, and they actually like worked well off each other. And the fucking like the battle between Sceptile and Blaziken, just to show the progress of these two over the course of the series, was fucking amazing, right? So I don't know. I'm personally, I think this is definitely like my favorite Ash, out of all of them. So, and then you got Max. Max, honestly, the problem with Max is that he didn't need to be there. Max as a character did not need to exist, and like he had his moments. Don't get me wrong. I don't disagree that Max didn't have like some importance to the show. Because realistically speaking, he's a fucking nerd, right? So he's the stats guy, which is also a problem for Brock being here, because Brock, like I said, Brock can't be the mentor anymore because now Ash is the mentor. And then you got Max, who is like analytical as fuck, which takes it away from Brock, which just leaves Brock to be like the grown up of the group who just cooks and maintains order or cleanliness. I don't fucking know. Like, honestly, this is like the weirdest Brock was ever at, because even in Diamond Pearl, because they reset Ash and then Dawn was like whatever, then Brock had to be the mentor again for everybody and always taking care of the two of them. Because now he has like 2 newbie trainers. But anyways, that's besides the point. Max was just annoying as hell. Okay, that's one of the issues with Max, is that I think the big point of contention you can bring for Max is when Ash battled Norman. Okay, because up to this point, Max sees his dad as a hero, right? His dad's his hero. Like, nobody can beat his dad. Like, he has like this like no, that's not the word. This blind. Well, it kind of makes sense because it's his fucking father, but his admiration for his dad is like his downfall, because of what happened is that Ash beat Norman, but Max was not having it, so he stole the fucking gym badge and it's like, no, you didn't beat my dad, and like that just made him look like a fucking brat. Okay, and that honestly hurt him. Okay, that honestly hurt him. The only thing that gives Max any like good points is the relationship with May, because their sibling dynamic was actually, well, I think it's better done than Clement and Bonnie's, personally speaking. Because May is like that really caring sister. And then Max is always there supporting her, right? So I think that's like the one positive trait we can get. Like, May makes Max not be as bad as possible, because honestly, if he was like, if that sibling relationship was complete garbage, he'd be in trash tier. But it was good, and like he did have some moments to shine, personally speaking. So that's why he's there. Okay. And then we get to Diamond and Pearl, which means we already got Brock, right? So now we got Dawn, who is indecent. Now, I will admit, okay, if this was years ago, like, let's see this. If this was around like 2010, 2009, like that era, right? I personally would think, actually, maybe like even 2011, I would have put Dawn in trash tier, okay? Because I have a kind of like a bias against Diamond and Pearl, as a whole, okay? I don't like the games. Platinum is like the only one that's like okay, but I don't have a nostalgic view of Gen 4, right? And when it came to the anime, there was a lot of problems with that saga, so I have like a bias against it. However, I have grown. Okay, it's 2024, right? And I can see some positive points to Dawn that I couldn't before. Okay, and honestly, you gotta thank Serena for that. Okay, because Serena's like, okay, we're not gonna talk to Serena yet, but it helped me appreciate certain aspects of Dawn that I didn't before. Okay, so in the beginning, I want to give you guys like a history of my Diamond and Pearl journey, right? When it came to the show and the anime, I watched it like religiously until I want to say the Gardenia battle. Like, because it was right, I know it was before Maylene, okay? I think I got to that point, and then like I just skipped like a shit ton. Okay, like I literally dropped the series for a good like couple months, and then like I came back and I'm like, fuck, I'm so behind, so I had to like restart from the beginning of Diamond and Pearl and catch up to where the show was at the time, which at that point I don't remember where the fuck they were. Okay, I don't visibly remember exactly what part of the arc they were at, but I just know it took me a while to catch up with the show. Okay, and at that point, I promised myself, please don't do this again. Soresan, for the love of God, don't ever do this again. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But if you're gonna watch it all the way through. Okay. I hated myself for that. So again, that's also like something that really hurts Dawn as a character, is because I don't feel like the beginning portions of her are good. Okay, the problem with Dawn is that she has a fucking ego to herself that she should not have. Okay, her mom is an expert contest coordinator, right? So in her mind, I'm like, I got the DNA, I'm perfect, I'm the best, and she fucking loses the first time going around, and she fucking like full of depressive mode. Like, what the fuck? Like, how did I lose? Right? My mom is like a genius at this stuff, right? I should have that in my DNA, right? I should have just mollywopped all these people, but she fucking lost because at that point, she was just going off of her ego. She never, before, like, I want to say, I think it was like her third or fourth contest. Maybe it was the third one, where I finally, like, started feeling okay with her. Because at that point, she was coming into what she could do as a contest coordinator, right? I also love the rivalry between her and Jessie, right? Because the problem with Jessie and May's rivalry, which wasn't really a rivalry because Jessie never beat May, right? And she never beat May in a contest. Jessie beat Dawn in a contest, right? So I think that's probably one of the positive points of Dawn as a character, is that she helped Team Rocket in a different way than you would expect, right? She actually helped Jessie shine a lot more because she won that fair and square, right? And then on top of that, she had her moments of growth after a couple of those contests, and she really grew into her own style as a contest coordinator. The only thing I might say that I'm like still iffy with is the second Depresso arc, okay? Because of the fact, I think she was in a slump where she lost like 3 contests in a row, and it was just like full on Depresso mode again. Like it was bad. And it dragged for like 30 episodes or something like that. I think that really hurts her a lot. Okay, don't get me wrong. Feeling sad and down on yourself is understandable, right? And it's not like you should expect somebody to like immediately bounce back on this shit, right? I get that. I understand that. But the problem is, this is an anime, okay? At some point, you gotta let this shit go, okay? We have other shit to take care of, and this is dragging out for way too long. I understand that they were probably potentially trying to give like a real life equivalent to how somebody would feel in this type of scenario. But we ain't got time for that. And again, this is also a problem that comes from Diamond and Pearl as a whole, because they have to stretch this shit out because of the way it's in the games, right? So that's what hurts Dawn. Honestly, if Diamond and Pearl was bad or more quick paced than it was, she would be in at least the great tier. But for now, she's indecent. So that's it for Gen 4. Now we get to like no more old school characters besides Ash, right? I totally missed regular Ash for Diamond and Pearl. I think he's decent as well. Like, I think the problem with this Ash, and I think this is one of the reasons why I wouldn't put him in great, is he. How do I say this without sounding like an asshole? He only had like one true rival with Paul. Barry was like, eh. He didn't even battle Barry in the fucking league, right? He fought fucking what the fuck was his name? It's a fucking musical dude who's also in the contest. I forget. And then Conway. Who the fuck? Why is Conway a rival for Ash in the league? That fucking makes no sense. And like it just felt like the Ash, it was all Ash and Paul, right? Which isn't a bad thing, right? Don't get me wrong. I like the rivalry. I still to this day think that Paul is Ash's best rival. It's just that the issue becomes that because the whole story is centered around Ash and Paul, the only important Pokemon on his team is Chimchar. Right? His team was strong. Don't get me wrong. They were all powerhouses. But you had Staraptor, which really didn't come into his own, right? He evolved in the same gimmick way that most of his other fucking birds evolve. I think the only one that didn't evolve the same way is fucking Taylor. Well, I know Pheasant, technically speaking. Pheasant evolved in like the middle of a gym battle, but like they had like Staraptor evolve in the fucking race shit, and then they did that same shit with fucking Fletchling. Shitty ass. Fucking. Anyways, so you had that issue. Gible never fucking grew as a Pokemon, right? He was still like his baby self until the league. Even like he barely mastered Draco Meter, like right before battling Tobias, which I'm like, that's a little late for you to be mastering this fucking move, or one move in your arsenal, which is the only move you fucking use. And then Gliscor, which he fucking abandoned for a bit, right? He had to grow outside of Ash, which is bad, right? And then you had Torterra. Torterra is the biggest disgrace because as a Turtwig, he was balling. He was kicking everybody's ass. And the moment this bitch evolved, he lost every single battle except against Team Rocket. I think Grotto and Torterra only ever won against Team Rocket. And that is, in my opinion, very shitty right. And Weasel. Don't get me fucking started on Weasel. Okay? Because the problem with Weasel is that he was... They did the whole like trade with Dawn thing, right? Where Ash has Apom that he caught in the Battle Frontier arc. And Apom was really, really good. Alright? And then Dawn catches Weasel, right? And then they like fucking trade because now all of a sudden Apom really likes contests, right? It doesn't like battling anymore, even though that's all it ever did, right? Even though like with May, never cared about contests, right? But now all of a sudden wants to be a contest trainer or a contest Pokemon. And then Weasel was like, I don't care about contests. So they did this fucking trade, and then fucking Dawn releases. Or gives away the Ambipom that Ash gave her, which is a slap in the face. Okay, I'm gonna say that. That's also probably another reason I should probably dropped her down, maybe to the okay tier, because that was a disgrace. But Weasel really This is like the first time he should have evolved the fucking water type, because honestly, Weasel's mediocre as fuck. Okay, it's not a particularly interesting Pokemon to begin with, and having it unevolved just felt off, especially because he evolved every other Pokemon on his fucking party except for the Gible, because they weren't going to give him a fucking Garchomp. Okay, well, let's be honest here. We knew for a fact they weren't going to give him a Garchomp, right, at this stage in the game. So it's understandable because he's also the last Pokemon that Ash caught in the region was the Gible. So it just, like, Weasel just feels off. Okay, and like that's what I mean. Like they spent all this time on the Chimchar storyline that the rest of Ash's mons were like thrown to the wayside, and they did the same shit in X and Y with Greninja. But like I said, we'll get to X and Y in the future, okay, in a little bit. So that's why this Ash is down here. They could have done so much better with him. I do have to admit that him and Dawn did have a really good like. Friendship dynamic, and like they really helped each other out a lot. But this is also the first time Ash gets a reset, which doesn't help him because he's supposed to be way better than he is, and that's also upsetting. So that's it for that. Oh wait, this is Black and White Ash. Oops, I picked the wrong one. There it is. This is Black and White Ash. Well, speaking of Black and White Ash, he also stays down here. I think the problem with Black and White Ash is I think the fact that they reset him again, like they reset him down in Pro, and they reset him again in Black and White, right? And I think the problem with doing that is that, I mean, Black and White makes sense because it's a reset, but they should have really, if they were gonna do a full on reset, because Black and White is the time where none of the past characters exist, right? We don't have Brock. We don't have any other Poke Girls, right? This is a brand new group he's traveling with. Nobody from the past. If this was a full-on reset, they should have had him grow way better than they did. Okay, personally speaking, I think they should have pushed him a little bit harder. And I think that was also a detriment to him. Don't get me wrong. I still like Black and White Ash and some of the goofy stuff because this is the second reset and now like it's a full-on reset of him as a character. There were a lot of goofy moments with him, but I think I like some of the stuff that happened. Like, when he battled... I actually liked the Elisa battle because of how fucking crazy and wacky it is. And the stuff that happens with Pikachu at the end. Like, bitch! Focus! Get your head in the game! And I do want to state this because I mentioned it earlier with Clement, and I'll say it now. People need to stop talking shit about Trip and the fucking Snivy battle at the beginning. I think people, like I said, illiteracy, I'm surprised. Like, I forgot that the anipoke community doesn't understand nuances when it comes to the series. Their own show, right? They don't fucking pay attention to details, right? And so, my problem with the anipoke community when it comes to the Trip versus Ash battle at the beginning of the series is everybody's like, oh, Ash lost to a level 5 Snivy, blah, 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 blah. Like, what the fuck? But they don't understand the context behind it. And this wasn't even part of the issue with the reset, okay? The whole Ash being reset had nothing to do with that battle. And for fuck's sake, stop talking about fucking levels in Pokemon anime, okay? That doesn't fucking make sense. The reason why that battle still irritates me, and this is not a nod against like Black and White Ash. Don't get me wrong. This is a nod against the fucking anipoke community because they don't understand context. And I saw this shit on Twitter today, literally today. The same shit happened. Somebody was talking shit about this battle again, and I'm sick and tired of seeing it. And I didn't comment on it because I didn't want to get into a fucking Twitter beef today because I just was not having it. Pikachu in the show is different from Pikachu in the games, okay? In the show, Pikachu's strength comes from how much electricity he has in the body, right? So, if you remember, the OG series stated this, okay? Because Pikachu gets a big power boost when they charge him up, okay? In the fucking, like with Brock's dad in that weird-ass creepy shed with the bike and shit, okay? Pikachu works the best when it has the electricity to fuel it, right? So if Pikachu has too much electricity that his body can't handle it, he gets sick. If Pikachu if he's drained of his electricity, he's weak and can't do much. So what happened in this fucking battle right before it is Zekrom literally took away Pikachu's electricity, all of it. So Pikachu is like literally nerfed to fucking hell. And he's now like in a weakened state, which is why he loses. It has nothing to do with Trip, has nothing to do with his supposed level 5 Snivy, which also, if we're going to talk about levels, Snivy doesn't want to leave Tornado until level 12. Okay? So if you're going to call like levels for this shit, be accurate. It's not a level 5 Snivy because Snivy doesn't learn to leave Tornado until level 12. So, just wanted to do that quick rant because I'm sick and tired of this fucking argument. I'm sick and tired of these fucking supposed fans of the anime who don't know shit about the actual lore of the show. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. But like I said, the only thing that's holding this Ash back is the fact that they push him. He should have beaten Cameron. Okay, that's the one thing I do agree. He should have beaten Cameron. There's no way fucking Cameron Cameron pulled an Ash on Ash. Okay, that is insulting for me personally. That is insulting. Cameron should have been like fucking mollywopped by Ash, and then Ash should have lost to fucking Virgil. I think that was his name. The fucking Evolutions guy. There's no reason for Ash to lose to Cameron. That's all I'm going to say. That's probably another reason that's holding him back. But I still like this Ash. I just wish he was a little bit better. And then the rest of the black and white people. So we got Silent, who I think is great. Or he's decent. And then Iris is great. Honestly, they're both great. I like them both. Silent is like a way better Brock. Like he's like way better Brock. The one positive part about both Iris and Silent is that they both get rivals. Right? They're the only like Silent, the fact that Silent has rivals when Brock never had a single one is already a nod to like Silent being above Brock. But also he was just amazing. He had so many hobbies, and he was so like he made a lot of the side episodes, like the quote unquote filler episodes, fun. Okay? And Iris, I will admit, she was a little annoying in some instances, right? Actually, if I was to do this in order, then Silent would go above Iris. Personally speaking. I'll just put them like that. But Iris's issue is at a certain point she should have dropped the "you're a kid" gag. Okay, that's the only thing, because after because Iris beats Ash. She beats his ass, right? In that one tournament, with Excadrill, she fucking destroys his ass, right? So realistically speaking, she has a right to be like talking shit, right? Because she's got this ego on her, and she fucking grew a lot, like, and I think that's probably the only reason why I don't have her higher than a lot of these other characters, is that they didn't drop that until she was gone from the series. When she came back during Journeys, which again I didn't watch, so I don't know the extent of what her character was in the show. Okay, I don't think I never got that far, so I don't know if she still has that mindset, but I do think that she's improved. I mean, she became the champion of Unova, for fuck's sake, which she did in the games too, mind you. So I was just happy to see that. I really was, and I kind of wish they had shown off a little bit of that before they kicked her off. And honestly, I'm a little upset that neither one of them returned until Journeys, right? Like the end of the fucking series, they never made a return before that, and that's a little upsetting. I honestly think they should have gotten a second chance at life. Okay, so now we are hitting X and Y. People are gonna. Okay, so X and Y Ash. Oh God. Okay. You know what? I might as well just rank them all right now. You're great. And where is she? Garbage. Okay, so I have them all there where they need to be. No, I'm gonna do the positive one first. Okay, I love Bonnie. Okay, still to this day, she's my favorite character in X and Y, which is fucking pathetic because she's supposed to be the representation of Max in X and Y. Okay, but the thing is, this is Max done right, and I still say though, I don't think the dynamic between her and Clement is like the greatest. I still think May and Max's dynamic is a little bit better, but Bonnie is the reason why this dynamic even functions half the time. The only issue I will say I have with Bonnie is her gag with the fucking finding Clement a wife. Okay, I don't know why they decided to go with this gag at all, because we've never seen this before with any other character in the series. And like, it just, I would have been fine with it if she had grown out of it when she finally found someone who likes Clement. Because oh fuck, when was it? Was like, shit, I don't remember what episode it was, but there was one episode where they run into this like super geeky girl, and Bonnie does what she always does, and she's like, will you like take care of my brother, right? She's like trying to wife her up for Clement, and the chick is like, hell yeah, right? And then like they had this whole like dynamic of like Bonnie's like, oh shit, I'm gonna lose my brother, right? And I'm just like, okay, progress, okay, we're getting some character growth here, right? And she even tries to like make the girl get icks from Clement, because she starts talking all this stuff about, oh, he likes to be wrapped around by an arbok like a blanket, and like all this, like he's trying to humiliate him, make him look like the cringiest, most grossest guy out there. And the bitch is like, well, that's adorable. So she's like, and she flips out. She's like, she's really trying, because like she didn't think it was gonna work, right? She always does this, but she never thinks it's gonna work, right? In her mind, it's never gonna work. And this is honestly where that gag should have stopped, because they don't end up together. Like Clement and this chick don't end up together, right? They still separate. But I think they threw a hint, maybe potentially, that she still likes Clement, and maybe in some alternate universe shit, like the chick comes back and actually does end up being Clement, and Bonnie just has to deal with it. I don't know, but the point is that gag should have stopped there. Okay, the only thing about the gag that's not as bad or as offensive as some of the other ones in the series is that it's not as consistent, because Clement isn't important in a majority of the episodes for Bonnie to do this. And so like it did like peter out a little bit, especially when Puni-chan came into the picture. Okay, when Puni-chan came into the picture, the whole dynamic of the group changed, because now Bonnie's the most important character in the group, because she's the one holding the future of Kalos in her hand. Puni-chan is literally the only reason why I am surprised that they went the route they did, because now Bonnie became the protagonist of the whole fucking show. At this point in the game, Clement, Ash, and Serena are nothing compared to her, which I still think it's ridiculous that the fucking sister character to one of the companions for Ash is more important than the fucking main character of the show. And that's fucking stupid. Honestly, that's probably the reason why I'm not putting her in best, because I still have that. It's just what the fuck. But I love Bonnie. She is the only good part for X and Y, for me personally speaking. I think she's the only good part of X and Y. And I love her as a character because of the way they handle everything. And her connection to Puni-chan, the way she controlled the Zygarde when it was going on a rampage, like, just, she's fucking goated. Now we get to go to X and Y Ash, who I think is the worst Ash to this day, right? And this is coming from somebody who I can't even speak on Journey's Ash as much as I could, because I didn't watch the whole fucking saga. But fuck Kalos Ash, right? And I'm not putting him in trash tier, even though I honestly should. And the only reason why he's not going down there is because there's still some hints of the real Ash in there. And it happens like near the beginning of the series, right? This Ash isn't even fucking Ash, and that's the fucking insulting part about him as a character. And this is Diamond and Pearl Ash done worse, okay? Because they pulled the same shit in this saga that they did in Diamond and Pearl. In Diamond and Pearl, there was a reason for Infernape to be as important as it was, because it was part of Ash's rivalry with Paul. There is no excuse for Greninja at all. There is not a single reason why Greninja should have been giving this much of a spotlight to the point where Ash's entire team suffered. And they suffered worse because at least in Diamond and Pearl, right? At least some of those Pokemon had a chance. There was at least some semblance of character growth, even if it wasn't as much as they should have had. Okay? There was still some progress in there. In X and Y, Hawlucha was ass. Talonflame was complete ass. Noivern was garbage. And then Goodra was just insulting. Okay? They really ruined Ash's fucking connection with Pikachu because of how they handled this fucking saga. I'm gonna give you guys a whole shebang. Like these next two, like Ash, the X and Y Ash and Serena, you're gonna get like the biggest rants from me here because that's what I expect that my fandom, the people that actually enjoy watching my content, want to hear. Okay, the problem with Ash's team in X and Y is besides the fact that they all are pathetic as fuck, they're all fucking blown away by a fucking ice beam. Okay, every single one of them except for fucking Greninja, I guess. But realistically speaking, Greninja doesn't want to be taking hits anyways. But here's the kicker, okay? Hawlucha makes no sense in context because of the fact that it's by this point Ash Fletchinder, okay? So there's no reason for you to have another fucking bird, right? And then on top of that, he did one of the most infuriating things in the fucking history of the show by destroying Trick Room with a fucking move. Okay, I am sorry. I totally forgot that you can just break field effects. What? Like, you can't break Trick Room. It's not a thing. You can reverse it. That's it. And the way they did it is like, and I hate the logic they use. It's like, oh, well, Bug isn't super effective against fairies, but it's super effective against Psychic, and so I should attack the Trick Room, which is a Psychic move, and is going to break it. Idiotic. And then on top of that, they reused evolutions. Fletchling evolved into Fletchinder the same way that fucking the Staraptor did. And then they fucking did two... Noibat and the Talonflame evolutions happened the same goddamn way, where they happened because they were facing one of the legendary birds, and then they just evolve because of bullshit out of reason. I cannot believe there were so many rehashes of this shit. And then Goodra, oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna get to Greninja and Pikachu last because they're the biggest offenders. Goodra, that shit was rushed as hell. Okay, the bitch caught Gumi, and then like 10 episodes later, he has a fucking... Well, it wasn't 10. It was probably like 13. But that was the fastest evolution we have ever seen. And then they did the most... They did a lot of insulting things here, okay? Gudra... He has Gudra to battle Clement, right? Because Clement leaves at a certain point. So we don't even have him with the group for a good, like, couple episodes. So Ash uses Gudra in his battle against the fucking, Clement and shit like that. And then the bitch fucking releases Gudra, and they didn't even give him another Mon. They don't have a replacement for him in this entire fucking region, right? And it's not till the fucking league, right when he needs a 6th Mon, they're like, I don't have a 6th Mon for Ash. We pulled a Cameron, right? That's the other crazy shit. They had Ash pull a Cameron where, like, I don't have a 6th Mon. And then, like, they have to bring Gudra back, even though he released it. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'll just leave you here and then I'll come back for you. No, he literally released Gudra into the swamp. Not the swamp, the marsh. It was the fucking marsh. You had Ash release a Pokemon and then bring it back for the league because they didn't think ahead of, like, hey, shit, fuck, we forgot to give him a 6th Mon. It's dumb, okay? And then we got the biggest offenders. The biggest offenders of this whole ninja, okay? First off, Pikachu lost to a fucking Surskit, and people don't talk about, oh, it was a strategy. Bitch, this isn't the first time that Pikachu has faced off somebody in ice. Alright? He could have whooped this Surskit's ass. I forgot the phrase. I'm just... Ooh! Just irritates me. And then, like... Pikachu literally took a backseat. He took a backseat to Greninja. And... How do I say this? It wasn't like when Infernape took the spotlight in Ash's Diamond Pearl team. Because Pikachu still had a rivalry with some of Paul's Pokemon, right? It was still a thing. And Pikachu still handled his business, right? The problem with Pikachu and Greninja is the fact that it literally kills one of the core aspects of the series, of the franchise. And that's the fact that Pikachu is Ash's best friend. They have the strongest bond out of any one of his mons, right? Pikachu and Ash, they're like, you know, they're bros. Bros for life, right? They're meant to be together forever and ever, right? That's how they've been sent. This is the whole... I don't know why I'm looking down here when I should go. This is the whole point of Pokemon, the anime, right? When it comes to Ash. It's Ash and Pikachu all the way. Calm down? No, I will not calm down. This series infuriates me, and that's what people want to see. They want to see me get angry at this shit, okay? They took that whole concept that's been here since day one of the anime. I'm gonna lower the volume just a little bit because I think I'm yelling too much. The concept that's been built since day one of the anime is this friendship between Pikachu and Ash. And they took it, they shit on it, they spit at it, threw it in the garbage, then set it on fire, doused it with more gasoline, and then took a piss on the ashes. Okay? That's what they did. Because if you mean to tell me that Ash has a much closer bond with a brand new mon he just caught in this new region to the point where he feels everything this mon feels. Make it make sense. Explain it to me. I want to know, how the fuck does this make sense? Why couldn't Ash do that with Pikachu? Why did it have to be Greninja? That's what I want to know. Why? And on top of that, I hate the fact that people still to this day call it Ash Greninja, because even in the show's lore, this shit happened before. It happened before. The fact that it's existed before means this is not a completely new phenomenon that happens with Ash. So why the fuck do we call it Ash Greninja when it's not even canonically just him who this has happened to before? Some other trainer in the past went through the same shit Ash did. So why the fuck are we calling it Ash Greninja? I don't understand. So it'll always be Boundabond or the Greninja form for me. Okay, I'm done. This Ash is fucking ass. I hate the fact that they did this. I hate the fact that they made him. They tried to make Ash cool just because he looks cool. Because the animation was good. But this Ash is ass. Okay, I'm done with him. And then we're gonna get to the biggest offender of this whole fucking series. The worst fucking character in the history of the show, in my opinion, is fucking Serena. I hate this bitch. I hate her fans. Okay, maybe not as much as nowadays because I don't really have to deal with them on a daily basis. Okay, so I'm a little bit more chill when it comes to the Amore shippers. I need to turn on the AC because I got way too heated in that section. I'm gonna get even worse now. Serena, as a concept, also makes no sense in terms of the lore of the show. Okay, they really tried to sell us on this whole, like, oh, Ash and Serena know each other when they were younger. And I'm like, okay, how come none of this has been brought up before? Okay, we didn't even know about the Professor Oak camp like this. Okay, never seen it before. So why the fuck are we getting this whole backstory now? Right, that completely retcons the way Ash used to be, because it was always Ash and Gary. Okay, none of this fucking this side chick bitch that is now important, right? So we have that, right? We have that infuriating concept being created just to have a history between these two characters. They couldn't just, organically create it. No, there has to be history with these between these. No other Pokegirl gets this ever. None of them. It's all like starting from new, right? They meet, they become friends. No, in order for Serena to work, she needs to have history with Ash. That's strike number one. Strike number two is that her whole reason for becoming a trainer, right? She wasn't going to do this at all before, right? She was living happily, living her life with her mom, and all that stuff, right? Wasn't even thinking about becoming a Pokemon trainer. But the only reason she becomes a Pokemon trainer, right? The only reason she does this, and she goes to Professor Sycamore and gets her fucking starter, the whole reason why she did that is because she saw Ash on the news, and she was like, oh my god, that's the guy from when I was a kid in that one Pokemon camp with Professor Oak. So I need to find him because I need to give him a handkerchief that for some reason I've been holding for the past couple of years. What kind of reason to become a Pokemon trainer is that? And then on top of that, right? On top of that, they go out, right? She finds Ash. She gives him the fucking thing. Now she's part of the crew. At this point, Ash has been with Clement and Bonnie for a couple episodes, right? I think they were together when he battled. What the fuck was her fucking name? Olivia? No, not Olivia. The fucking the bug gym chick. Viola. I know it was something like that. So she joins the crew, right? And again, because her only reason for becoming a Pokemon trainer is because she wanted to give this handkerchief back to Ash, she has no goals. She has no aspirations. She has nothing to drive her forward because she's already there. So what the fuck are we going to do with her, right? Her mom is a Rhyhorn racer. So we got the whole and again, they really tried to pull a May again, but they just did it in the worst way possible because now she doesn't want to do Rhyhorn racing because she doesn't like it, but we never seen her not like it before, even though she can be decent at it because her mom taught her to be a Rhyhorn racer. So we get to that, and there's a stretch of 60 something episodes. It takes a shit long time. I think we beat Grant. I'm trying to recall, but I think we beat Grant, and I think we're getting ready to face Karina when we get the first inclination of what the fuck she's gonna do as a person, as what her goal is gonna be, right? And what did she decide to do? I'm going to do watered down contests. Because that's what the showcases are. They're watered down contests. If you strip all the soul out of a contest, that's your showcases. That's what they are. Okay? A really shitty replacement. And then, right, this is the worst part, okay? You remember how I was talking earlier about Dawn and the fact that she went depresso mode when she lost her first contest because she had this huge ass ego to herself, right? Which I thought was kind of dumb, right? But Serena goes to her first showcase, right? She goes to her first showcase, and she drops out at the first round. She loses in the first round because she didn't do anything. She wasn't this was on a whim thing, right? And she fucks up the the length of the ribbon that Fennekin was wearing, right? Like, she didn't measure properly. So then Fennekin trips. And then, guess what? They knock a lot of points off of it because Fennekin trips. And then she goes like, I'm going to be like all those female protagonists from the past. And I'm going to go to a water location. And I'm going to cut off my hair to signify I'm changing. Bitch, you should have done this. Is the one infuriating thing about Serena is that she feels like taking tropes from other female characters in other shows and tries to mess them together, but it doesn't work. There's no emotional investment for me right now for you to do this when this is the first time you're doing it. You know when you should have done this? When you should have done this whole like, I'm changing for me shit, is when you had your argument with your mom, right? And about how you didn't want to be a Rhyhorn racer, right? That moment, that's when you should have done this. Not now, when you lose your first showcase, thinking you were going to win, when you've never done this before, is not in the history of you as a character. You didn't practice for this shit because you didn't know what the fuck to expect. And like, at this point, I'm really disliking her as a character. Okay. And the worst part is, they try to give her a rivalry with Jessie, just like Jessie had with May and Dawn. And I still stand by that Jessie's best rivalry with a Poke Girl was Dawn. Okay? They try to pull the same shit here, where she became a rival to Serena. But the only problem is that Jessie never beat Serena fairly. Okay? Jessie beat Dawn. Okay? She won against Dawn. Serena loses to Jessie, or Jessie beats Serena in one showcase we see because of a technicality. Serena fucks up again, and that's why she loses. And I said this in the review when it happened. I felt insulted for Jessie that they couldn't even give her a clean win. She won cleanly against Dawn, but no, Serena can't lose to somebody better than her. No. Nobody can outbeat her. Nobody can outclass her, right? She needs to lose because of an accident, right? Every single loss she has is something that was out of her control, and that's infuriating. It pissed me off. And on top of that, the difference between showcases and contests, that contest you needed 5 ribbons. Showcases, you only needed 3 princess keys. So, by that point, you're cutting it down, and then they only do like 5-6 showcases in total, I think. Whereas with contests, we had like a dozen for each one for Dawn and May. So you're cutting it down, so you have less to show us. And then you don't give it that much importance. And I think what I stand by to this day. And I remember getting into so many fucking arguments on YouTube, when I was making my videos before. Is that a lot of people used to say, because I made the argument that Serena never practices for these showcases and she just fucking wins because the writers just give her a victory. And people used to tell me, oh no, but she practices off screen. Serena practices off screen. That's why she's so good. She's great. You don't need to see her, practice and train and all this other shit. Serena's just that good. Okay, you don't need to see her being good because she's that good, right? It all happens off screen, and that's why she comes in. And, right, I used to have this argument with some people, but there was one moment that I was able to dispel that argument, and nobody was able to argue with me at that point. Nobody had an argument for that, and at that point, nobody ever brought it up again because they couldn't. Because the argument falls apart because when she wins her second princess key, this is around the time she's with Eevee. She has her Eevee and shit like that. And like they have like this double battle with like Ash and Tierno and then Serena and Shauna, right? And it gets to a point where like at a certain point in the episode during the battle, which again they fucking lose, but the showcase is the next day, right? Serena notices something that Evie's doing, and she decides, I'm going to make a routine out of that. Right? She already had a routine set for the showcase, by the way. But because Evie does some things during the fucking, this double battle that they had, she scraps an entire routine that she has been planning for a while, right? Which again, we never really saw, because we never saw it. We saw like snippets of it, and then it gets cut off because we don't get to see it, right? So this happens, right? And then she's like, I'm scrapping this for this new, completely original routine that I'm coming up with. And she immediately masters it overnight. Because like I said, the showcase was the next day. The next fucking day. So you mean to tell me the one routine she's been practicing for weeks, it took her weeks to learn, she scraps it, and in one evening, she masters a completely new routine? No. That's how you know these writers were just throwing shit at the wall when it came to her as a character. And from that moment on, nobody can tell me otherwise, that she never practiced for this shit, and the writers just give her shit to do. Because at least with May and Dawn, we saw them struggle, right? I still vividly remember when Dawn was trying to do her fucking Flame Wheel and Icicle Crash combination with Mammal Swine and Cyndaquil, and she kept failing at that shit, and then she fucking mastered it for the content. Bruh, that shit was hype. Okay, we never got that with Serena, because anytime we had her practicing on screen, it was always cut off. Something always happened, or things went wrong, and then it just skewered the story to a different angle, and so we just never saw her like practice and struggle or nothing like that. So Serena just existed, and the writers were just like, she's just gonna be able to do this. Okay, I feel like Serena, the writers. The whole reason they had Serena here was just because of the romance aspect, because they really were pushing this whole like, oh, we're not more shonen like, so like Serena's like the side or like the female character that's in love with the protagonist and shit like that. That's her whole fucking like arc. The entire show is just that, right? So the whole fucking showcases were a throwaway that they just shoved in there because they knew that if that's all this character has, she's gonna be terrible. You can't write a lot of that stuff in a fucking Pokemon show. For God's sakes. I swear. I used to have so much disdain for the writers when it came to this fucking saga. I fucking hate X and Y. And this bitch is one of the main reasons for it. Fuck Serena. I still to this day hate her. I will never see anything positive about her. Because while I do agree and admit that there are some decent episodes in X and Y, okay, we had some good episodes. There were highlights. And like I said, I love Bonnie. She's amazing, right? But every other character in this fucking group sucks ass. And Serena's like the biggest pile of garbage in this whole fucking show. Fuck this bitch. Oh, God. Okay, so now let's go on to one where I actually like all the characters. Like I said, Sophocles is the only one that's decent. But, like, you got my boy Kiawe up here. You got my girl Malo up here. Lana's in great. And then, where's Lily's in great? I love the little kids. You know what? I love every single one of them. They're all fucking amazing. Kiawe and Malo are my favorites, though. And... where's Lil? Oh, Ash is also great. I like Ash. Oh God, like that's just. Kiawe is just goated. Okay, he was amazing, and I love his fucking like Pharinium Z pose and the fucking chant he does for it, like. And like his like bro rivalry with Ash was amazing. Malo being like the big sister of the group was amazing. Like she just cared about everybody, and every one of them got like a bunch of episodes dedicated to them. Like Lana had her thing with like her sisters and them fucking teasing her. It's like, is this your boyfriend? Like, she was fucking got pissed, and I was like, what? And Lily was great. I think Lily really benefited. Okay, it's reconnected. It said it's fine. We're good. Okay, we're good. Well, we always have fun on this fucking Soresan streams, you know. We're always having issues. But seriously, like, I love all these characters. I love Alolan Ash just because he's fun. After having this fucking disappointing ass piece of shit X and Y Ash, having Ash being fun again was amazing. Okay, and honestly, I think I mentioned this when I initially went back and I reviewed like the beginning portions of Sun and Moon, because I didn't review the whole saga. Okay, but when I was watching Sun and Moon, or right before it, what I told myself was, I was gonna give it a chance, right? Because X and Y literally destroyed me. Okay, I reviewed every goddamn episode of X and Y except for the showcase finale episode. That's the one episode I never reviewed, and I never will review it because I don't give a fuck about Serena. Okay, I don't. So I will never go back to watch her lose to Arya. Okay, I just don't care enough to go back there. Okay, but I reviewed that whole series, and it literally it hurt me physically for a long time. Okay, it got to the point where a lot of viewers were worried about my well-being because they knew I wasn't having fun with it, but they still wanted to hear my thoughts and they still wanted my input. So they wanted me to make the reviews, right? So it was like a double-edged sword because, like, my fans want it, but I hate it. So I don't want to watch it, but I have to watch it for them because they're enjoying my content. So, excuse me. Okay. When Sun and Moon was coming out, I initially had a positive outlook because it looked different. It looked different than X and Y. Ash looked fun. And I even made a video talking about how I love the new direction they're going with. People were complaining. Now listen, back when this show was coming out, people were complaining about the art style. They're like, oh, you gave us this cool ass looking X and Y shit. You know, everything looks gritty and amazing and like fluid and shit like that. And you give us this goofy ass looking shit. I prefer this Ash over X and Y Ash any day. Any fucking day. Okay? And the thing about it is that he was fun. He felt like Ash. X and Y Ash felt like somebody imitating Ash. Right? And like the whole X and Y the whole X and Y storyline, right? Because of the fact that they went with this whole edgy like shonen style, really ruined him as a character. Because Ash isn't supposed to be like this like stoic, like all serious, edgy shit lord, okay? Ash is supposed to be fun. So then when you have him with the Alola kids, you're like, oh, this is the real Ash. This is Ash being all silly and goofy and very like friendly with everybody, always having fun and a blast. Like, this is what he's supposed to be like. And I do think like every one of the Kalos characters were a reason why Ash went down in X and Y. Like I said, Bonnie took away the protagonist role from Ash. Clement is ass, so he doesn't really help Ash in anything. And then Serena dragged him down because they had to do this whole, like, oh, I like Ash. But Kiawe, Mallow, Lana, Lily, and Sophocles elevated Ash. They made him the protagonist. They pushed him to grow. Kiawe's always wanting to battle Ash just to see how both of them gotten stronger, and like Malo always being the big sister, to help Lily outgrow her fear of Pokemon. Lily having to learn to love Pokemon because she's afraid to touch them and stuff like that because of what happened when she was a child. Lana being like the fucking the troll of the group, which helped Ash just like what. And then Sophocles being like this genius, which is always like intriguing Ash with his mindset and the way he thinks about things. Like they all worked as a cohesive. So I really like them. I like all the Alola kids a lot. Like they really like, and that's one of the reasons why I feel bad that I didn't review Sun and Moon all the way. Like I didn't do the episode reviews because I had so much fun watching the show, and I think that's might be one of the reasons why I went against reviewing Sun and Moon after a certain point, because I felt like I didn't want to head down the line where if I'm liking this show so much, if I start reviewing it, and I still nitpick while I watch shows, by the way. Okay, even if I don't make a review or a video on it, I still nitpick a lot. So I was still like noticing certain issues with Sun and Moon, but I felt like if I was doing that in a review format, it might have taken away some of the enjoyment. Which is weird because with Horizons, even though I have issues with a lot of the stuff that's happening, I don't feel burnt out on it. And that might be because I took a break. Because I didn't review Journeys and I didn't review Sun and Moon. So I think that might have been the reason why. Because I reviewed X and Y all the way through. That burned me out. And I'm assuming that might happen after I'm done with like Horizons. Like when the next saga starts or whatever, like Horizons is done, right? And we go to like the Gen 10 stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna be burnt out again with Horizons by the time we get there. So we'll have to wait and see. But for now, I'm over here talking about shit that has nothing to do with the fucking Alola kids. I love every single one of these fuckers. Like they're all great. Like I said, Sophocles is only down and decent because they didn't give him as much of a spotlight as they did with the other ones. Because Lana, they had her like they had her grow a lot. Like she has a fucking Primarina by the end of the series, and she gets like a fucking. They all get Z moves, technically speaking, but like they really push her. A lot as a character, and like she gets a fucking like crazy ass Eevee shit that doesn't want to evolve into anything, and then Lily overcomes her. I think Lily's only weakness is the fact that she's the only one of the crew that was stuck with like one mon. Every other Alola kid has more than one mon, and she only had Snowy. So that's only like Lily's only right, but she really helped sell a lot of like the story of Sun and Moon. And then Mallow and Kiawe are just, they're goats. Okay, they're my favorite characters in Sun and Moon. And not because they took away like the spotlight from Ash, because I still think that Ash was the protagonist of the show. But in terms of characters, they're my favorites. Because like I said, Mallow is like the big sister of the group. And she has like, they do this whole thing with her where like, when they do some of her backstory episodes, and like, she has, like she does have like the Depresso mode. Like some of the other Poké Girls from the past. But the way they handle her was a little bit different because I think the whole point of her is like she wants to be a great chef like her parents because she wants to take over the restaurant that her parents own. But she doesn't feel confident in her own skills. So like her Depresso mode only happens for like one episode. And they had this whole gag of like she runs into an Oran Guru who teaches her the ways of like this amazing drink and shit. And then like she's like, oh, this is amazing. And then like she brings back and she creates her own recipes and shit. Like they handled her really well. And then Kiawe, just the rivalry between him and Ash really showing off a lot. And I love the way they had him like be this big brother that really cares about his little sister. And he fucking fought this fucking asshole trying to take over their ranch. Like, Kiawe is a fucking boss. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I love these two. Realistically speaking, I always said these two were always interchangeable as my favorite character. Because I flip-flop. Every time they had, like, a new episode that that showcase one of them a little bit, then they would like become the favorite for a little bit, and then the other one would get an episode, and then they would flip. They were always flip flopping, and I think that's a sign of like they really handled these two so well. The fucking Mallow gets a shaman, like that's another part. You get the fucking shaman at the end of the show, and her fucking bond suite evolves all the way with Serena. And then Kiawe has a fucking Marowak that's like an asshole, but and his Turtonator is a fucking baller, bro. Like Kiawe being the first way of showing Z moves was fucking amazing. It hyped me up so much. I love all these kids so fucking much. They're all fucking amazing. And then okay, so Journeys, Ash, and Go. Okay, I feel bad ranking these three because I didn't finish the fucking series. Like I kind of want to make a new tier of like, but okay, I did watch To Be a Master. To be fair, I did watch the To Be a Master, so I can rank Ash a little bit, but I don't think that's enough. So I'm gonna just make a new row below. Oh, why'd you make two? You piece of shit? No. Delete. Okay, we're gonna make you like this light blue, maybe? And you're gonna be like king rank. Or not enough. Oh. Or actually, didn't finish Saga. There we go. So all three of you go down here. And also I put you down here now. Now that I have this extra chair, I can put you down here. You fucking stupid ass piece of shit. Actually I can't do that. There's still, like I said, there's still some positive stats. But I'm going to do this because I can't rank them because I didn't finish Journeys. All I know is Chloe's irrelevant for a majority of the fucking series. So, realistically speaking, she should be in trash because she didn't do anything. And then Go's the reason I dropped the fucking saga to begin with. Because I was supposed to make a video on Go. And then I never made it. So, because of that, it's Go's fault. Okay, if I didn't say I was gonna make that video, I would have watched the rest of the saga. But no, I decided I was gonna make the Go video, and then all this other shit was happening, and it never came out. And at this point, it's too late. Maybe when we get to those like nostalgic sides of like, oh, thinking back about the old days, shit like that, and then like it's been long enough since Journeys happened where you can make a nostalgic video on it. Maybe I'll make the video about Go then, and hopefully by then I'll actually be a much better YouTuber with a. Who am I kidding? There's no way I'm ever gonna get the production value on this fucking channel. But anyways, so I can't really rank them because I don't have enough history with them. I don't have all the facts of this crew. Okay, all I have is the fucking skeleton, so I can't rank them because I didn't finish them. Okay, so then all we have left is the Horizons cast. So I am gonna do you in okay. You are in okay. You're in okay. You're in decent. Actually, I could put Lolo up here now. Liko in great. Come on. Dot is in great. And then Roy is in best one. Okay, so ranking all the Horizons people. The only reason why Murdoch and Oreo are in okay is because I need more from them. I think the only problem with Murdoch right now is, well, actually, the problem with the adults, to be honest. Every single one of these adults right now are on a standstill because of the fact that we don't know if they're going to be shown off during this current arc of the Academy, right? Because the way they made it out to be is that it's Roy, Dot, and Liko learning about terrestrialization and getting stronger like that. So, honestly, the adults right now are in, like, a weird state. Like, if you think about it, I probably should put Molly down in decent as well, but she's my favorite of the adults to begin with. So that's probably why I'm okay with putting her up there. But as for Murdoch and Oreo, they're still not. They haven't had enough time in the spotlight, right? A lot of Murdoch's development went to die, right? The only one episode that they really had Murdoch be the star was when they dealt with his old patissier companion when they used to have the pastry shop, and they had this weird battle between them and stuff like that. Because even him with being with Katie, he was just there, right? So it didn't feel like too much growth has come from him. And Oreo, I think they really did her dirty by not having her at least think about leaving the crew for the Pokemon. Hold on. Excuse me. Sorry about that. They should have at least had her think about it, because I still stand by the fact that they're taking advantage of her. Because she's the mechanic and everybody needs help from Oreo. Oreo always is the first person to call when some shit's going down, right? But they haven't really given her a true chance in the spotlight, except for that one episode where I think they could have done a little bit better with her. On top of the fact that she's out of all the fucking adults, she's the only one with a fucking pseudo legendary. She doesn't know how to fucking use it. That's insulting. Okay, you can't have a Metagross and be this weak, okay? And then as for Freed and Ludlow, okay, Ludlow actually is on a rise right now. Okay, if we were talking beginning of the saga stuff, like season 1, Ludlow, then he'd be in the meh tier, because honestly he wasn't doing much in the beginning of the series. But it wasn't until the Lapras episode that I was like, oh, whoa. If we had just watched the Lapras stuff, right, he'd be in the okay. But boy, the Palafin episode really, really showed him off. And I hope they do that thing with him again, okay? I want to see Ludlow transform again and show him off. He needs to do something cool again. Because right now he's on track to be my second favorite adult in the Horizons crew, right? Look, he is fucking amazing, and I really just want to see more from him before I can fully commit to him being really up there. Freed, as much as I talk shit about Freed all the fucking time, okay, about how he sucks as a bodyguard, right, and how there's all this shit, and how I'm fishy with him as a character, and whether I think he's a good guy or not, right? I talk a lot of shit about Freed in my Horizons review, and I still stand by those statements. But I'm not going to take away the fact that Freed is the only competent character in the whole ship, right? Until, when the kids now are improved and they've trained and all this stuff, and they're their new selves, right? Freed is the only one that was competent in the entire ship. And I love the backstory. He's had a couple of backstory episodes so far, and they're really good so far. I still don't like the fact that he stole Ludlow's boat and then forced Oreo to make the Brave Asagi, right? That's a little messed up, Freed, but I do like him as a character. I'm always gonna be upset that he sucks as a bodyguard, but as an actual him as a character is really good. I really enjoy him. And then when it comes to Liko, Dot, and Roy, okay, these are the actual main characters of the series, okay, of Horizons, okay, and I'm gonna go in order of my my like for them, right? So Liko's at third, and not because I don't like Liko, but Dot has shown a lot of progress, but like I said, I'm gonna go in order. I think Liko so far is a huge step up from at least Journey's Ash. And she's better than a lot of the other Ash, obviously. Like, the only one I have right now above her is Sun and Moon Ash, but that's because Sun and Moon Ash was the fun Ash. But I think she's a better handled main protagonist than Ash ever was. Even though I still have a heart or a soft spot for Ash, right? I still like Ash, but I think the way they're handling Liko as a protagonist it feels like they have a purpose with her, right? Ash's whole goal of like being a Pokemon Master was never truly explained, even at the end of the To Be a Master saga, right? They never really explained, except like, oh, it was just meeting all the Pokemon. It's a cop out, right? We can all agree that was a cop out answer. But the fact that they have a goal in mind for Liko, which is the Terapagos and getting it to Rockua, right? They have this mind, like they have one set goal for her, really helps them build the story for her that they couldn't do with Ash. Because Ash just went with the flow of what the region was about. Liko has the opportunity to have an actual story built around her, which is the whole Terapagos stuff, right? And her ancestry with Lucius and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see where they go with her. Okay, and I like sometimes she can be a little finicky, but I do like the fact that she has her own way of battling, which is completely new and refreshing. And I really had high hopes for her, and I had high hopes to begin with, right? When they announced her as a protagonist, I was a little concerned that we're gonna do like just Ash 2.0, or what a lot of people were saying at the beginning, that she's Ash's daughter. But thankfully, they didn't go that route. And honestly, I think this is a completely different universe than the original series, personally speaking. And then Dot is number 2. And again, if this was like season 1 Dot, she'd be in like the okay tier, maybe even meh alongside Ludlow. But like Ludlow, she has grown a lot, and I really like the progress they've done with her as a character. Right now, she's the only one of the main protagonists that has a positive record, right? Liko and Roy have lost a couple times, but Dot is like, I think she's like 3-0 or some shit like that. I don't know. She's one more than she's lost, which is saying a lot, because I still stand by the fact that she should have lost to her mom, because I don't think she was like, the whole point of that battle wasn't for her to win. It's for her to prove to her mom that she knows what she wants to do, right? And I think her goal is the only one that's a little like iffy out of the 3, because she wants to learn about Pokemon, right? Which can mean a lot of things, but I think she can grow a lot more, especially since she's like the celebrity of the 3, right? Because she has the whole like Gurumin character, which is gonna have some things with Iono, hopefully in the future, that they'll be able to do something there. So it could help them out. It could help her grow a lot. She's like, realistically speaking, right now, still like I like her more than Liko right now because of what they've done with her recently. But there is a chance that she could stagnate, and I'm a little worried about that. Especially if they start doing a lot of like tearing her down. I think the only way I think she could legitimately go like super up, right, is by, how do I say this? If she faces Spinel. I think if they put her up against Spinel, then she's definitely going to improve a lot more. I think they're like the perfect pair for like rivalries there. Like Liko has Sango, and I think it's just Sango. I don't think she should face Onyx. Should be for Roy, and then Amethio. Like, the only problem is, like, Ameto's going to turn it... I still think he's going to turn into a good guy, which eventually means he'll be on this fucking list. But he's right now the rival to Freed, which makes sense. It works. But if he becomes a good guy, I don't know how we're going to... Like, because Freed needs a rival in the fucking Explorers. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll figure this out later. And then finally, Roy, who is, like, really close to being my favorite character overall ever. He's a fun character. Every Roy, he's had a lot of episodes centered around him, which helps him a lot, right? And the thing is, like, with every other Horizons character, I feel like they share the spotlight with another character when they get an episode centered around them, right? Whereas every single Roy episode is, like, strictly about him and growing as a character. And I think that's what I like him the most. And he's just fun. I love the connection he has with his Pokemon. I do wish they would give him more time with Watchel. Okay, because right now, it just feels like Roy only has one Pokemon. Because Liko has Sprigatito, well, Florigato now, because he evolved. Or she evolved. But Liko has Florigato, Hatena, and Terapagos always around her. Always with her. And then Dot has Quaxley and Tinkating always with her. Roy's the only one that he only has Fuecoco out. Watchel is never here. So that's like the only not against him right now is that he feels like he only has one Pokemon even though he has two. So I'm hoping that we get more with Watchel in the future, which will obviously help him a lot. Because if they do a Watchel that's in their episode, then obviously Roy's going to be the center of the episode, which is going to help him grow his character, which is going to make him even more interesting to me. So as of right now, he's the only character in Horizons I don't have really many bad things to say about. And that's why he's my favorite character in Horizons. And like I said, honestly speaking, he could go up to being one of my favorite characters in the entire like history of the franchise of Pokemon as a whole. Like Roy can become that character. And I'm really looking forward to the future with him. The crazy part is that this week's episode is him versus Bracius. And I'm a little scared. I am a little worried about this episode, but I hope it's good. They haven't missed with him yet. But that's also the scary part, because I know for a fact the one time they miss an episode, like they're gonna fuck it up really bad. I just have this feeling. So like I said, these aren't ordered, right? I'm not gonna order these at all because it's too much work, right? Realistically speaking, I could rank them in order, but it'd be too much work, and I'm not gonna share this anyway. This is for you, my viewers here on the Crockxen Clan channel, the SoresanCrockxen channel on YouTube. You guys get to see this, and anybody who watches the playback also, obviously, because obviously I'm talking to the people on the stream right now. But if you watch the playback, then obviously this is for you. But I'm not posting this anywhere else. Nobody else gets to see this list except for you all. So, overall, I think I did pretty good. We've been here for 2 hours, which is a lot. It's a long time, but I think we had a good time. Overall, this is what I think of the characters as of right now. Like I said, in terms of the Horizons cast, because they're the only ones that can technically improve at this point, because nobody else is coming back because they don't exist in this universe. Dot could stagnate a little bit, but I hope not. I really hope that they improve her a lot. Liko, I can see a lot of potential with her in the future. Roy, I'm scared he'll go down, but for right now, I think he's still in a really strong contention for being one of my favorite characters in Pokemon anime history. So I don't think he'll ever go like too low, you know? Molly, the rest of the adults, realistically speaking, they could go down if they are not given time or screen time, which I don't think they're going to do for some time because we're doing the kids storyline right now. But that's basically it. So that's it. This was a fun stream. I enjoyed it. I know you guys loved it. And if you watch the playback, you gotta let me know in the comments that you enjoyed it. But that's basically gonna be it for this stream. I really want to appreciate everybody that joined, everybody that stopped by, and like I said, tomorrow I'm gonna try to get the Horizons if it's out, because it wasn't out on Saturday last week. I was because there was no episode, so I was like, what the fuck? So it's supposed to be out this week, so I'm hoping it's out tomorrow morning, so that I can watch it and review it for you all. Thank you for the hearts. Really appreciate the emotes there, or the emojis. So I'm hoping to have that one out tomorrow. And then, like I said, Monday will be the big video that I've been talking about for the past couple of weeks. So I hope you all watch that and enjoy it. Or I hope you enjoy it. But I really want you to at least watch it and comment on it and give me some feedback on it. And then I'm debating when I'm going to have the next Let's Play stream. It might be tomorrow. Might be Sunday. I don't know yet. I need to see what we're going to do. I'll talk to my wife about it, obviously. But, because she's the one that's helping me schedule all this shit, right? So, I think that's going to be it for now. Look forward to other content on the channel. As always, if there's a video idea you would like to see on the channel, leave it in the comments of any of my videos, in any of the community posts, on these playbacks for the streams, on anything. Feel free to let me know, because like I always say, this channel is for you. So if there's content you guys want to watch, I would really appreciate you guys telling me. So that's gonna be it for this stream. Thank you all once again for watching. I have been your host, SoresanCrockxen, and I will see you guys in future videos, streams, shorts, and everything in between. And stream. Later.